As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
And I had to go with Florida State. Now, we knew that Jordan Travis, quarterback, was coming back. We knew that their leading rusher, Trey Benson, was coming back. And we knew that their leading receiver, Johnny Wilson, was coming back. They got some good news. And I don't know what they expected down there, but kind of comes as a shock. Jared Verse has decided to stay at Florida State. And the latest ESPN mock draft has him going at number 11. So that's rare that you see a guy that is picked to go that high decide to stay for another season. Now, the other players that stayed and want to do something special made the decision a little bit easier for him. But, you know, he said money was a big factor, but the biggest thing for me is what can I improve on? And I had to look at myself and say that I've still got a bunch to do. I still got a bunch I could be better at. And that's what I'm looking at going forward. So that's huge news for Florida State to get him back.
Now, you and I had talked privately about Jared Verse. He's good. He didn't look like a top 15 pick to us when we watched him on tape. And I'm guessing, I think he got some good advice because I think he's got the tools to go top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have the tape to go top 10 yet.
Right.
And I would assume that Florida State is taking care of him from an NIL perspective. So it's not like he's going to be playing for free. Right? Yeah, there's the risk of injury. Of course there is. But I think this is a good example of a guy that I think would have ended up being drafted later in the first round than he anticipated. Maybe doing himself some serious good, making himself millions and millions of dollars by coming back and playing another season.
Especially if I think Florida State probably wins the ACC next year. And
they got a chance to make the playoff. Like
that's what I was about to say. There's a really strong chance they make the playoff. And if that's the case, it's just to have that spotlight. Everyone's always going to go back and look at the film and all that stuff. But when you're playing in big games in front of everyone, it draws the attention, and people, I've always said this, you've heard me say it before, they start to look at your tape differently. Instead of looking at it and finding ways to knock you, they look at it to try and find ways of how can we make him better. And I don't know. I think if Florida State goes out and has a special season next year, he could really cash in. So yeah, could end up being a great decision for him, but there's also risk there.
A lot of risk. There's no doubt about it. That dude was playing at Albany 2 years ago.
Crazy. And it sounds like they took a risk on even bringing him in because he hadn't hardly played any high school ball either, right? Is that what the case was?
Well,
he's like a tight end, I think.
It's worked out.
Yeah.
The guy his Albany highlights are hilarious, by the way. If you haven't seen him, go check it out. It's just like, it's like watching in like 6th and 7th grade, there's the couple guys that have gone through puberty when everyone else has it.
Right.
That's what it looks like. It's pretty good.
That's great.
But yeah, that's huge news for Florida State. And I can just tell you people right now, they're going to be a dark horse playoff pick for a lot of people that cover college football heading into next season. That's going to be a popular thing.
And rightfully so. You know, I think rightfully so. They've got the biggest thing when you have your quarterback coming back like they do, and he's a dual threat guy, and then your leading rusher and leading receiver. It's hard to really turn your nose up at that with Florida State. And those schedules always tend to be, I don't know, how do you say? I guess they seem to be winnable, I guess is maybe the way I should put it.
My only hope for Florida State is, all those injuries that were creeping up in the Cheez-It Bowl. Hopefully they're able to avoid those throughout the 2023 season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop faking injuries, Florida State.
Yeah. It's something that we need to get a grasp on for sure.
All right. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Gotta go with Oklahoma State. And it's gotten pretty bad. Oklahoma State is they are bleeding players right now. And it's not just down roster guys. It's guys that are big contributors for them. Leading guys in those categories for them. It's been wild to see how many guys have transferred out. Johnson at wide receiver, Bryson Green at wide receiver, John Paul Richardson. I mean, there's just, the list goes on and on for guys that have transferred out. And obviously we know that the defensive guys, they lose a great backer. They lose a rush guy. They lose their quarterback. It's wild, man. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this since the portal has started. We've seen teams lose a lot of guys, but this many key contributors. I don't know that Oklahoma State, like, they've had some transfer guys come in, but their philosophy, their style has been gather guys up, get some experience, and then like every 3 years or so, they ramp up with all the experience on their team. Well, they're losing it all. I don't know how you recover from this.
I wonder, like, what's going on.
There's got to be a catalyst, right?
There's got to be something. Whether it's, and I know that the fan base, they'd criticize Casey Dunn a lot. He's the receivers coach and the coordinator. And you look at all the receivers being in the transfer portal, that's strange. And I know that Spencer Sanders put the kind of, that hand over mouth laugh emoji out there, deleted it really quickly, which, dude, once you put it out there, might as well keep it up. Everyone's going to screenshot it anyways. But I do find it odd that he hasn't landed anywhere yet. But yeah, I think John Paul Richardson is the one that a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Because I think he was the captain for their bowl game.
Yeah. So
I don't know what's going on, but
yeah, I think it's 15 guys, and a big chunk of those 15 guys are contributors. Like they're players. It's not 3 deep guys and guys that haven't played for you that are looking for a place to go get some reps, man. It's wild.
It's your quarterback, your best, your most productive player on defense, Mason Cobb, and then all your best wide receivers. Other than Presley. Right now, you lost one Presley. You haven't, as far as I know, Brendan Presley still in the mix there at Oklahoma State, but who knows?
At some point, he's probably going to be like, well, dang, maybe I should bounce too. But
lost Jabbar Muhammad, your best cover guy. What, he's going to Washington? Oklahoma State fans have to be freaking out.
I know they're not happy with Gundy right now, and I don't know what the details are. I don't know why guys are jumping ship, but man, got to be frustrating.
It definitely. It's weird. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you are doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, I thought about going with Broncos fans. It was a long season, but I guess they've got a little hope. Saints gave Broncos permission to interview Sean Payton. Sean Payton already said that he's talked to ownership. Now, I guess nothing in an official capacity can happen until I think it was, January 17th or something like that. But after the disaster that was Nathaniel Hackett, that they have to feel a little better, right? Knowing that Sean Payton's even interested in talking to the team.
Yeah, I'm shocked he's interested in talking to him. I didn't think anyone was going to go take that job with how limited they are right now moving forward. The future is, like, if you don't get Russell Wilson figured out to where he's playing like he was previously, like, it's going to be really hard to turn that thing around. So, hey, if Sean Payton's interested, they're in a good position. So, yeah, I think that qualifies them as winner.
I do wonder, all the Sean McVay stuff, like, it seems like he's going to be done, huh?
It's wild.
I mean, if you're Sean Payton, now I guess their mantra's been F them picks for a while. It's not like they are in a great situation moving forward either, but I don't know.
Lincoln Riley.
Denver or LA? Denver got a better defense.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know their future situation as much as I do Denver's. Like, they've got some serious salary cap issues with Russell Wilson's contract, and they've got some serious draft issues. So, and I know the LA's got roster issues too. They're paying out a ton of money. So I don't know.
Yeah, but hey, Sean Payton seems like he'll probably be coaching somewhere next year. And I will say, and I was only with the Saints for, a brief blip. He's a really fun guy to play for. Yeah. And the dude is smart as hell when it comes to offense.
Great track record.
Yeah. And little season off to get rejuvenated. He's got a tan now and everything. He looks pretty good. Looks like he's enjoying life there on TV, but he's going to be a hot name this offseason.
Yeah.
But my winner of the weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs, did it again, man. Smacked the Raiders around 31-13 in Vegas. Chris Jones was rooting in Jarrett Stidham's life. Mahomes was, just being Mahomes. But Chiefs showed the ultimate sign of disrespect, whatever the merry-go-round thing they were doing, and then went and ran a trick play for a touchdown. That's when they were like, we can do whatever we want. We'll still beat the Raiders. That's what that told me. But
that was actually a really cool play. Now,
it was fantastic.
They kind of got lucky scoring the touchdown on it, but they had it front side. If they would have just kept that play front side, they probably would have walked into the end zone too. But I think that they should use that more often. That was interesting. Because everyone's just kind of caught standing there with their mouth open, like, what in the hell is happening? You got to be selective with it, but they pulled it off flawlessly.
I need to ask Blake. I need to know what the origin of it was. Yeah. And I'll ask and report back. But do you think Travis Kelce during practice one day is like, hey, once we all just run around in a circle? Or do you think it was one of the coaches? Do you think it was an Andy Reid creation? I don't know. I need to know.
I don't know. It's a good question. I'd like to know too. It was cool.
But
I got a kick out of it.
But hey, they're the 1 seed. And it's massive because you get a bye. right? And so they clinched the 1 seed in the AFC. There were a lot of new pieces on that team from a year ago. Lose Tyreek Hill, go 14-3.
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes is that dude, and they've done a really good job of drafting, keeping guys that are just really good football players and just fit into the system. And do you understand what's happening with the NFL playoffs and the locations and everything? I'm kind of just to the point where I saw what they put out, and it was one of those, hey, y'all just let me know where the games are being played when they happen, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Like the AFC Championship, we don't know where it's going to be. Like what I'll be pissed if they play a neutral site AFC Championship game. That's just stupid. Don't do that.
I know. And I know Cincinnati is all upset about like what went on. Like, and I understand their point of view. It's weird. There's no easy way to do it, but neutral site does not seem like the right way.
No. And I know it all stems from the DeMar Hamlin situation. And hey, did you see that video of him FaceTiming the team? Oh,
Yeah.
That's
great.
the stuff. Fantastic. But I guess if you're the Chiefs, hey, yes, hosting an AFC Championship game is clearly very important, but the most important thing is getting the bye.
Yeah.
But that's the most important thing. But we'll see what it ends up looking like there in the AFC with where these games are going to be played. But I'm sure it'll shake out. I'm sure whatever's decided upon, no one will complain or be upset at all.
Yeah, right.
Going to be a disaster. Last thing I'll say about the Chiefs, Mahomes got to win MVP, right? Hurts got hurt at the wrong time. I really do think Jalen Hurts was going to win MVP until he got hurt, until the shoulder.
Yeah. It's hard to, you can't really justify anyone else. I mean,
Josh Allen, he's been awesome, but I think you look at the numbers, like Mahomes he's just that dude, man.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anyone else.
No, with their record, and like he's thrown for 1,200 more yards than Josh Allen has.
Just insane.
And 9 more touchdowns and less interceptions. So unfortunately, I think the answer is yes. It's Mahomes.
Yeah. 1 seed and MVP, and unless they make him play a neutral site AFC Championship, I still don't think the guy will have played a playoff game away from Arrowhead.
It's crazy.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Other than Super Bowls, of course.
Right.
But Chiefs are good.
Very.
Very. All right, for my loser of the weekend, thought about going with your favorite guy ever, Ted, old Jim Harbaugh. And I guess right before we started recording, there are some reports that he might interview for that Broncos job. And even though he's like, oh, I fully intend to be emphatically coaching Michigan or whatever the hell he said in 2023, NCAA investigations, Ted.
It's weird. Is there really any truth to the hamburger thing?
I don't know where that started, but it has spread like wildfire. I haven't seen any like legit reporting. No disrespect to the Twitter verse, but it's like I haven't seen someone from ESPN or like The Athletic or one of those put it out. Have you?
No, but
okay.
If that's what it ends up being, and they found that, like, supposedly they found the receipt and he lied about it, and that's like what the deal is, then it's stupid as hell on the NCAA, and it's stupid as hell on Jim Harbaugh. Why, if you make $7 million a year, are you using an expense report and a company card to buy a hamburger for someone that you shouldn't be buying a hamburger for? You cheap bastard. Pull out some cash and drop a 20 on it. That's all you got to do. Are you really going to lose a $7.5 million job because you're so cheap that you're going to expense report your lunch with the recruit? So stupid. You deserve it. If that's what it is, and that's what happens, you deserve it.
I love your take on this. It's not who cares about the rules. No one cares. It's like if you're that cheap and stupid, you
Yeah.
deserve. Go coach the Broncos.
Yeah. That's a good location for you.
Oh, that's funny, man. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with that. The NCAA, they have very little power left, so they may try to make an example out of old Jim Harbaugh. We'll see. But my loser of the weekend, Tennessee Titans, man. That is a brutal way to lose a game in general. And it is a brutal way to lose a game that results in you missing the playoffs. And the Titans weren't going to do anything in the playoffs. That's fine. But Josh Dobbs has played really well. You're up 3 with, 3 minutes and some change to go. You got a third down, sack, strip, fumble, scoop and score, and the eventual win for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're coming on, baby.
They are Doug Peterson. What they finished, I think 7-2 in their last 9.
Coming on strong. I like it. It's good stuff.
And Trevor Lawrence wasn't even that good in this game, but he's shown some signs of, being what everyone thought he was going to be. But the Titans, and I think everyone that you talk to from a football standpoint, when it comes to who are the best head coaches in the NFL, Vrabel's in that conversation with pretty much everyone you talk to. And they lost their last 7, man. Oof.
It's been incredible, the job really that he's done there. And he hasn't had a quarterback that you would consider to be even in the top 10, right? Even
Right.
Probably not even close. So, like, for Tennessee, like, they've kind of, I think they've exhausted what all they can do without a quarterback. They got to find a quarterback.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that Vrabel's going to have more control because remember, that was that whole weird situation. They fired their GM, but the Jags ended up winning the AFC South, man. That was impressive, and it's going to be valuable experience for Trevor Lawrence and that team. Go play in the playoffs. The only other thing about that game is it appears Derrick Henry's been working on his stiff arm. My God.
He's still just an absolute freak show of a player. Awesome.
He's fun to watch, but yeah, kind of really, really rough stretch to finish the year for the Tennessee Titans. But hey, we'll see what these NFL playoffs looks like.
I'm looking forward to it.
It feels very
wide open.
it feels wide open to me. I don't know about you.
No, I agree.